So the Climate Web is a massive climate risk knowledge base that you can enter through the website or through the front door, both of which are indicated here. But it can be difficult to figure out how much is in there regarding a particular topic. In this case, climate engineering and climate repair. And so I've organized a few things to help make that clear and to suggest how that kind of information reflecting hundreds of hours of knowledge curation could be used by different audiences interested in these topics. So I'm going to jump to a tagged collection here, Climate Systems Engineering and Repair Index Entries. These are 36 index entries. That happens to be the number that show up well on the screen. There are more than 3,000 index entries in the Climate Web, but from air capture to Arctic ice restoration to cloud brightening, ocean fertilization, marine permaculture, all sorts of things. These are all index entries that you can use to access specific topics. So if I click, for example, on CDR, carbon dioxide removal, you can see that you can go down and more deeply into topics. You can go up to the next level of topic. You can jump over to lots of information that is organized here. You'll see a little bit more of this in just a second. So the index is organized so that you can literally click through the topic of climate change from A to Z. So if I jump to the next tagged collection, Climate Systems Engineering and Repair Topical Headings. So these are sources, topical headings, books, reports, journal articles, news and opinion, pieces, videos, extracted graphics and ideas from a lot of these kinds of sources. We even have a geoengineering cartoons collection here. And then you get into network headings and even climate engineering arguments, which I'm not going to get into in detail here. But we can go, for example, to carbon capture and storage via ocean fertilization. There's a significant literature on this topic, and you can dig into this literature through here in terms of accessing most of these different reports if they are publicly available. If they're not, we can't include them in the Climate Web, although we can point you to them. Alternatively, if you want to look into, for example, negative emissions technologies as an extracted category, what we've done here is extract lots of interesting graphics, lots of interesting ideas from different reports on that are relevant to the topic of negative emissions technologies. So you can literally sort of scan dozens of reports and some of what they have to say about negative emissions technologies simply by scrolling through this negative emissions technologies extracted heading. And as you can see, it's linked to mitigation technologies and carbon negative, and it's also linked to an index entry, net negative emissions technologies. Now, the third thing we'll show is climate systems engineering and repair dashboards. So in the prior section, it's all, to some extent, it's almost like a file cabinet, although we've taken it to the next level by extracting graphics and ideas. The dashboards are a little bit different. So if I click on Climate Engineering 101, this is basically a mini course in climate engineering. So yes, there are some index entries, some headings, but then you get into some of the key sources, some key news and opinion pieces, some key graphics, some key videos, some key websites. So in a very small amount of time, you can basically come up to speed on climate engineering 101. We can develop these dashboards for climate engineering 202, 303, 404, specific kinds of climate engineering. All that information is already in the Climate Web somewhere. So it's just a matter of pulling it together and organizing it into this, what is in effect a mini course. You can also do other things with this, just in terms of, for example, a workshop. And so you've got the key presentations from a workshop. We have a lot of the more interesting slides from the different presenters. We then have some of the key graphics from the workshop, some of the key ideas from the workshop. So instead of that workshop just sort of disappearing, instead of simply having a list of videos or a list of PowerPoint somewhere that no one's ever going to dig into or watch, we've extracted information that might be actionable, and then all of that information can be integrated throughout the Climate Web to help deliver actionable knowledge. So that gives you a very quick look at sort of the inclusion of climate systems engineering and repair in the climate web. It's a very small slice of the climate web, but what we can do is we can take any or all of this information, extract it from the climate web, create a new brain that can be embedded in someone else's website. It can be a public brain for anybody to access. It can be a private brain to support a specific research project. There really are no limits to how one can sort of help facilitate exploration of these issues through the knowledge management that we've already done. And it's very easy to include all kinds of other information and all the other resources that other experts have already organized. We can pull them into this kind of a tool very quickly, very easily. And we're happy to discuss with people how we might support through the climate web exploration of this key topic. Thanks.